Buddies podcast featuring our discussion of AMC's Better Call Saul, episode 9 of the third season, the penultimate episode entitled Fall. Just a couple of quick bits of information before we jump into it. You can check out all of our content at www.boobtubebuddies.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Reddit, or just email us at boobtubebuddies@gmail.com to get in on the conversation. We will make sure your questions and theories get on air. Let's go ahead and jump into it. My name's Foxman, and I'm joined by the slip to my fall. What up, giblets?
We don't have a Facebook? God damn it. A MySpace page? God damn it. I was planning that since the get-go.
I love the literally swing and a miss on go one.
Nice intro joke.
After last week, the running gag was about how dumb you were and how you screw up your things like, what was it, petticoat?
Petty stool.
Petty stool!
Petticoat. I stand on my petty stool to put on my petticoat.
Oh, God. Okay, Mary Poppins.
I'm so petty.
Okay, so, real quick, I just want to see, overall thoughts. What did you think about the episode? Scale of 1 to 10.
Fucking loved it. I'm nervous to give it a 9, but I'm going to go 8.5.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it was funny, it was quirky, there was some decent action, and they spread the love around a little bit.
And they were setting up some real killer shit coming next episode.
Exactly, because the scene with Gus, yeah, maybe nothing major happens in that scene,
but it's
still
with
exactly
anticipation.
That's exactly right. There was this boiling tension beneath it, and then getting to see Mike meeting with, you get to see his first the genesis of his relationship with Lydia, which is very exciting.
Plus Annie was being, we'll get into that.
Yeah, and then the Jimmy stuff was goddamn gold this episode.
Jimmy stuff was fucking gold. Chuck stuff was fucking gold.
It was gold.
It was,
I mean, when I say 9, honest to God, it might be a Better Call Saul 9.5.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I mean, the only reason I was reluctant to give it a solid 9 is because I'm expecting the season finale to just be fucking bomb, and I want it to be a separation between this and that.
So what makes you think it's gonna be fucking bomb, bruh?
Oh no! Well, I mean, that's when everything's gonna come to a head. I mean, it's the season finale, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it should be a really good one. I'm just saying, this was a really goddamn good episode.
It was a really fucking
yeah,
good,
we're on the same page.
Episode.
So we'll
made up for the last 2 snoozers, I feel.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Okay, so just to kind of real quick parse through what we're going to go over this episode. Obviously, we're going to review and kind of touch on a light recap of some of the things that happen. We have our Jib Jab with Jables, which has 2 songs in it this week. And then a little bit of trivia this week. I still don't know who you did your 2 truths on, and unless you're reading my notes, you don't know who I did mine on.
I can't read.
I can't read. That sounds about right. All right, so let's jump into our first segment of the night, which is 140 characters used to summarize the entire episode. A little segment. Jables, what do we like to call it?
Summon it up in a tweet.
Oh yeah, we're summon it up, so summon it up. Summon it up, oh yeah, we're summon it up. Oh yeah, we're summon it up, so summon it up. Summon it up and up.
Tweet. Alright, I definitely got it in 160 characters, so...
Don't do this.
Kim's overworked. Chuck's a super jerk. Jimmy put the hurt on old Mert, so his bankroll got a perk. Hector's dad is gonna get murked.
Oh, her name's Irene, not Myrtle, by the way. God, that is the worst summoning up in a tweet in the history of summoning up in a tweet. I mean, you told me it wasn't great, and I thought, you know what? He does these one-rhymers where it's all of them rhyme with the same thing, and it's funny bad normally. That was literally just the worst thing anybody's ever done.
Yeah, hurt and Mert.
Hurt and Mert.
and Perk. They're not even.
That wasn't her name.
I know.
The dog's fucking not liking it either.
I just wanted to set you up because you said you weren't sure about yours, so I wanted to make you feel better about it.
I appreciate it. That was actually very kind.
Thanks,
so
buddy.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Me. Helen, Rose, Myrtle, Irene. Every felon knows what fertile is green. Jimmy is playing a montage game to get his payout and avoiding shame. Hector's on the verge of doing something rash. Kim got in a nasty car crash, and that summoned it up in a tweet.
Started off fucking flawless, ended up like Lucy Lawless. I assume her career is not going anywhere.
Oh, you did not like the end of it?
Have you heard someone of a tweet? It was pretty lackluster.
Okay, so it started off really good with the Helen Rose Myrtle Irene. Every felon knows what fertile is green.
I mean, those are some solid bars, but
And then at the end, it was just like
Lucy Lawless.
Well, the thing is we were saying let's finish the episode right on time tonight. And then we'll have the recording studio, well, the blanket for it, all fully set up, and we'll already have done summing it up in a tweet. So when the episode ends, come in here, sound check, boom, we're recording, and then that way we can play some Rocket League by midnight.
That's why mine was so high quality.
But, so during the commercial break previous to the episode ending, I had written up the first 2 lines, and I was like, this is gold, I can't wait. And then the episode ended, and I realized, oh shit, I didn't do the rest. Crash, what rhymes with crash? Rash, okay, very good. And then it was just, dog shit. So anyway, so it starts off pretty early on setting up the sandpiper thing with Jimmy. He shows up with the cat cookies that, that he bought from the store.
Baked.
Yes. And the way that he masterminds that whole plot line this episode is fucking
Flawless.
great.
It's a cut above the rest.
So actually, why don't we just let's mix things up a little bit and just kind of stick with his plot line here in the beginning.
Sounds good.
And talk about it. So when he first goes in, we see him meet with Irene, not
Irene,
Myrtle.
not Mert.
Yeah, not Mert.
So stupid.
It's very funny.
An old Mert.
So he goes in, and basically it just becomes clear pretty quickly that what he's angling for is a little bit of info as to how far along they are in the settlement process for the class action lawsuit against Sandpiper Crossing.
Now, at this point in the episode, why did you think he was doing this?
Well, as I paused the show to explain to you, why are you going to set me up like that? Because you don't always want to be the dumb guy. You want me to own up to it.
Once in a while,
I forgot about Jimmy's 20% ownership stake as we were watching it. I paused it. I turned to you, asked for some clarification, and you were the expert who remembered the 20% that he was owed for what was happening. Is that what you want me to say?
That's exactly
It's
what
all fucking lies.
I was so excited for a second.
No, yes. So anyway, that is actually what happened, for the record. Nice job. And so it becomes very clear that he's trying to kind of talk her into it. They're interrupted. At first, when you heard the knock on the door, didn't you think like, oh shit, maybe it's somebody from HHM or something like that?
I thought it was definitely going to be Jimmy getting caught with his hand in hooky jar. Anyway.
Oh man, you came out swinging tonight, and you know what? You're going down swinging. I appreciate it.
I told you that I didn't even want to do it tonight.
That is true, yes.
I'm up for like 27 hours straight now, so.
You're more like sleeping jibbies instead of slipping jimmies.
I mean, I got the correlation, just.
I thought it was okay. Okay, it was like a 3 out of 10. Fuck you. I deserve that. I I did like the ladies came in because they were going to chair yoga and asked him if he wanted to go, and he said he just wasn't dressed for it. And
so good.
Which is really funny because the next time we see him
he's totally dressed for it.
And so it's him at a mall, but it's not a black and white scene that has him with a lame mustache working at Cinnabon. It's him in a fucking tracksuit, decked out to the nines, has these fancy shoes that have like the ultimate rolling thing. Could you imagine our high school band instructor? How he would have loved
heel arch toe line.
Heel arch toe line. Oh man. Remember how good his posture was?
I'm pretty sure he made those shoes, probably.
Probably.
They're probably called Muses.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, that's
Better
a sweet
than
reference.
Dingles.
Yeah. I don't even know. What is that?
Dingles are the actual band shoes we had.
Oh, that's right. By the way, we were in, well, not just high school band together, but we were...
13 years of tuba.
Yeah, we were section buddies. We played the tuba together in middle school and in high school. I was his section leader, although I think I did make you my co-section leader was it senior year? We did get kicked out our sophomore, junior, and senior year at some point each year.
I was told I wasn't allowed to play that instrument anymore. Remember I had to switch to a trumpet for like...
Oh, yeah.
I was fucking terrible at it, so they moved me back.
Okay, anyway, let's give... Nobody wants to hear...
High school memories?
First year All-State. Nobody wants to hear anything about this. So.
Jacob Gainey's going to call and fucking bitch you out about that.
Oh my god, come on, dude. I was clearly the better tuba player.
Jacob, what do you have to say about that, buddy? Call us and write us at Boob Tube Buddies on MySpace. myspace.com.
Nice. And donate to the Patreon page. Okay, so Irene is the class representative. So the whole thing is him basically leaning on her in whatever way he can to... at first, it's to convince her to do it, but then later it is to black sheep her, to ostracize her and basically set her aside from all her friends. So even the shoes, which hilarious scene, by the way, when he goes diving into his trunk, and it's dozens in all sorts of size. And so he brings it back and gives them to her. She's walking around like she's walking on fucking sunshine. And then he starts, we see another montage, but this montage is like chair yoga, playing pool, sitting around, I don't know, playing bridge or something like that. And basically, you know, very subtly manipulating all of them. Well, subtly for them, not subtly for the audience. Right. Manipulating them into thinking that Irene is kind of holding out against what is in the best interest of all the rest of her friends. And so... even
referencing the new shoes he got her.
Yeah, exactly.
She's able to afford the finer things in life, like those shoes.
And it finally culminates in she is walking through the mall by herself. She sees her buddies. She splits off to go talk with... or not splits off, but she walks over to go talk with them. They refuse to even acknowledge that she is there. And then so what ends up happening, he or she, there's like a song, like a sad song playing in the background. You can just see the look on her face.
Everybody hurts.
No, it was definitely not that. But anyway, it was like, it was Shattered Dreams, which I thought was pretty funny. And
she's the fucking perfect person for this too. She looks
so sad. I mean, and like pitifully sad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just like your heart breaks.
Sorry, you want to give her a hug.
Yes.
Yeah. Especially when she melts down.
Oh my god, yeah.
God.
So, and you knew what was happening right away with, he basically is putting, like, the magnetized sort of
this
stuff.
guy's fucking ideas.
Yeah.
Just so over the top.
I mean, he's like a straight up sociopath.
Yeah, he's like, nah, I can't keep doing the Sunny in Philadelphia.
Do it. What do you got?
I was gonna say he's just like Dennis Reynolds in It's the sociopath.
Yeah,
like,
it's the implication.
It's definitely the implication. Everything went so flawlessly too. He's so good.
I know.
At being such a fucking
orchestrates it so well. Thinks of every possible fucking angle. So he injects the balls with this thing, with this magnet material stuff, and then goes and I love him emceeing the bingo shows. It's so goddamn funny.
And he always does that too.
He does.
He's gonna do that a bunch of times.
I wonder if there's any part of that ends up being like improv sort of thing, or if those are all just scripted out lines.
I'm sure that some of it's improv, because especially they have to take after take.
That's true, and
I'm sure he's
it's his background too, and doing that. So anyway, but so he's doing it. She ends up walking in, totally again ostracized. Her friends Myrtle and I can't remember the other ones. Rose. Yeah, they won't. No, Irene is the main lady.
The person.
Yeah. But they won't let her sit with them. So she goes and says, he hands out new cards, deals her one off the bottom. Like he's a fucking crooked blackjack dealer. And so then after everything gets pulled, she comes up, and while everybody was clapping, I think the dude's name was Paul, the guy who won before. Everybody was, oh yeah, thunderous applause. Paul. Everybody's so happy he wins.
Sam guns in the air. Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, and then when it's her turn, she walks up, and even the closed caption guy, it said scattered applause.
Like,
that was kind.
Yeah.
It was pretty
sounded
weak.
More like chairs shuffling.
And then of course he is digging it in, because he's basically like, come on folks, give it up for her.
One more time, come on people, it's Irene.
Nobody? No? Anybody? Come on. Just basically like letting it simmer up there, and then she drops her thing, runs off crying. And when he goes and chats with her, and basically she says, like, none of my friends will talk to me. They're so cold. What should I do? Follow your heart, Irene.
And he's instantly like the caring grandson. It's like, oh my gosh, really? And they're so shocked and so supportive. God damn.
It is really
what
fucking
a fucking
funny.
Narcissist.
Yeah, it is really funny. So, anyway, that's pretty much the plot line for his. I found it to be incredibly funny.
Satisfying.
And, very satisfying. It's really, it's the best part of a non-finale episode with Jimmy is you want hijinks.
Yes.
Like, I think that Better Call Saul in its worst episodes suffers from being a little too melodramatic, which I don't think necessarily, at least for me, works as an entertaining tone for the show. Like the last few episodes just dragged a little bit.
Not the highlight of it.
Which could be saved by at least a scene or two of some funny Jimmy stuff, or or Chuck maybe getting a little comeuppance, because everybody wants to see bad things happen to him. Like, I don't know. I understand that a really good show doesn't care so much about what the audience wants. It just wants to give like the best possible show.
Yes, but it would be the best possible show if they did those notes.
A little bit, yeah. But anyway, let's throw over to what do you want to do? Let's do Jib Jab with Jables, and we'll be right back.
Jib Jab.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jib Jab with Jables.
All right, so what we're going to play for you guys today is it's a little take on when Jables and I first met, which obviously we do seem to have slightly differing recollections of.
Yeah, you have some fantasy world and mine's more realistic.
Very grounded. Yours is very grounded. So we actually did play this on, I think it was the Walking Dead podcast.
It was.
But since we have a pretty different listener basis for each of our shows.
Super different.
Okay, just drop the needle on that shit, Mothman. Okay, sit back, close your eyes, unless you're driving, but just transport yourself back. This is the first moment that Jables and I ever met on the first day of kindergarten. He was just a scared little boy.
A child waiting for his first day of school. No one knew him, no one knew him. Other children, they all laughed and pointed. He was ugly, he was stupid. Child cried just like a fucking baby, a fucking baby, a fucking baby. There was a hero among them. His name was Foxman, his name was Foxman. And he found that child funny, he found that child sad. The dreams in which he's dying were the best Fox ever had. Foxman looked at him, said, change the labels. Arise, my son, and from now on you'll be known as Jables. 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 Jables.
What? No chance. It was a lot more like this.
Now this is a story all about how Jables and Foxman became pals. It's a complicated tale, but listen to the end. I'll tell you how the Fox and the Fly became best of friends. Fox and Fly. In South Transylvania, born and bred, locked in a cave bound from his toes to his head. Sliced up and cut, they collected what he bled. Fox was just a source for Dracula to be fed. When a couple of guys named Jables and Rage stumbled in and saw the poor fox in the cage. They got one quick glance and Rage ran away. But Jables totally didn't, he's brave, so he stayed. Jables walked up to Fox, but as he got near, a poof of smoke and bats and Dracula then appeared. He only had time to cut Adam's ropes before Jables was pinned with Drax fangs to his throat. Ah! Jables, ready to die for that mysterious guy. But then he heard Fox shout out, I got you, Fly, with a stake through the heart. Drac was busted apart. Fox and Fly were ride and die right from the start. Fox and Fly. Yow, 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 yow.
Jib Jab.
Okay, so anyway, hope you guys enjoyed those songs if you hadn't already heard them before. I think that my version is actually a little bit closer to the actual truth.
Debatable.
Yeah, the Transylvania thing, I do not recall that being accurate.
I want to be your friend.
Oh, no!
That's how we became friends.
So cringe.
God damn it.
So cringe. Oh, God. Okay, so let's talk about Chuck's plotline this episode. So Chuck is pretty goddamn close to being recovered. I mean, he still obviously has some hangups
Making
with
some
it.
crazy strides. Yeah.
Huge strides. I mean, he's out of the house. I mean, really, he's having what I would consider to be minor reactions to electricity, especially compared to where he was at before.
Yeah, I mean, we find out, throughout the episode that he's definitely masking a lot of it.
He couldn't even do that before, though.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, yes, I'm just saying proportionally.
Definitely
he is-
leaps and bounds
Yeah.
better.
So it starts off with... Oh, go ahead.
I feel like it's a big telling sign, though, that he knows that it's in his head now, basically, and still it's affecting him. So I'm sure that's fucking eating him inside, and it's probably a sign that there's nothing he can do about it because, I mean, it was proven. He's announced that it's proven that it's in his mind.
Yeah, and then he's almost instantly made gigantic leaps forward in resisting it. I don't want to say that it's cured, but he is resisting it with a lot less struggle than how he would before. I mean, he was sitting
Blue
covered
blanket,
in
white skin. Brown hair.
red wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I hate
I
his
didn't see what you were
mantra.
doing at first. I was like, excuse me. Yeah,
I
he
just looking around at the blankets and white skin. I don't know what I said. White skin. God damn.
Oh my god. All right,
Just let
Jesse
you know.
Jackson. Jesus Christ.
White boy.
I hate that you talk to me like that. Good God almighty. Okay, so they're meeting with the insurance agents.
Fucking loved that scene.
So good. So they are... I mean, their premiums are going way up, and not just on Chuck. It's every single lawyer in the firm.
A huge staff.
Which is a huge amount of money.
Right.
And then, so Howard's trying to negotiate with them, and then Chuck starts hardlining the shit out of them, which essentially and effectively ends the meeting.
Yes.
But he's not going to shy away from a
threatens
fight.
litigation.
That's
so.
absolutely what happens. By the end of the day, they're going to have sent over cease and desist letters or whatever it was. That is the point where Howard brings up for the first time, and he does it by way of like talking about the possibility of speaking engagements and ways of cementing his legacy, writing legal books and things like that. Which, I mean, honestly, I think that a lot of lawyers, like really top-notch successful ones, when they get older end up doing their name is still on the side of a building somewhere, but then they spend the rest of their time either as I don't know, like maybe a media expert, like a resident lawyer that would go on CNN or Fox News, or doing speaking engagements and tours and writing books and things like that. I think that you can probably have a wider impact probably on you know what I mean?
I definitely feel you, but it's Chuck.
Yeah.
And he, like he said, and I feel like he's being honest, he built that from the ground up.
Yeah.
So
do you think that if Howard hadn't tried to bring it up in a sly kind of way, I'd be careful of kicking at that thing. It's gonna all come crashing down. This blanket fort is not very securely set up.
We need you all to go to the Patreon page and at least get us some support beams for these blankets.
No, the bungee cables.
Bungee cords and duct tape are not cutting it.
On one side, I have bungee cables securing it to an elliptical machine, and on the other side, a bungee cable to the top of my saltwater aquarium.
Yeah.
It's pretty professional. So do you think that if he had come to him more legitimately saying, like, listen, have you thought at all about, now that you're getting a little bit better, maybe taking the next step in your career and starting to cement your legacy on a broader scope and writing books and different things like that that can allow you?
So.
You don't think so?
No, I think it's just gonna be.
And what does it even matter? I mean, we're talking about a show that, for dramatic purposes, would never allow something like that to happen. So who gives a shit, right?
Yeah, Chuck is Chuck, though, and I mean, I definitely feel where he's at. Plus, now that he's getting better, and he's even stated that he can't wait to get back in the courtroom. That's his end game, is to be able to
litigation.
fight
I think is what he
again.
wants to do.
Right. So to be told that. I mean, it's just like telling any old person they can't drive anymore, or do what they want to do, and nobody wants to hear that, especially someone with such a powerful mind like Chuck.
That's true, and nobody wants to be that horse put out to pasture.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's what is suggested. Chuck obviously does not like that. Storms off. The next time that they interact actually is when Howard gets the letter from the receptionist, right? And he's like, okay, wait, he has that low voice, right? okay, so I want you to get a jazz band.
Fuck is this supposed to be?
He has that.
That can't be how he is such
I can't talk that low. He has
No.
such a good low voice. Do it. Let's hear it.
He has an amazing voice, but it's not
hear
that.
It. Let's hear it.
Hamlin. God damn it. I didn't no matter what it was going to be fucking terrible.
Hamlin and McGill.
It has a softer touch. Whatever. Wait till you hear back what you did for.
There's no way it was worse than Hamlin and McGill.
Well, okay, we're just gonna keep going. That's what you did. Yours is like a hybrid of Mike and Howard.
I feel like both of them were terrible. Granted.
Definitely.
I feel like yours with the English accent was far worse.
Yeah, but his is more like proper. Maybe that's why he's going to English. He's just.
I mean, I was trying to do that.
It's just so low.
But it's really difficult.
Yours has more of a bass. He's got a low voice.
His voice has
no
so
bass.
much bass to it.
No, it's got like a low treble.
You're out of your goddamn mind. His voice is
God.
bassy as shit.
I really still think so.
Writers,
listeners, writers,
manners, writers,
YouTubers. Maybe I can get back in their good graces.
Okay, so anyway, that's obviously not what it is. He is actually threatening to sue HHM. Howard
God
goes to his house.
Chuck. I love that.
Chuck has all the lights turned on. He's using an electric mixer.
Yeah, he is.
And Howard basically is like. Are you kidding me? You're gonna sue it? And Chuck basically hits him with I was practicing law while you were shitting your diaper, pal. Like
Yeah.
I mentored you through law school. Even your dad was in like a 2-office building before I joined. I built this place, and I don't think you can afford my $8.5 million payout
Which
that it would
he's
cost.
100% right as well.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, all these things that he's saying are legitimate. It's just
But still surprising. Like he's gonna completely take down his firm.
And just why? Like everything that he does is such a goddamn overreaction. For somebody who has such an amazing gift of gab, he has the worst, shittiest fucking temperament ever. Like he's so combative.
The epitome of cutting off his nose despite his face.
Exactly.
As well.
Perfect. Yeah, that is the perfect turn of phrase for what he does. So anyway, that's where that gets left off. And then does anything else come of it? I guess we actually should mention the part where Jimmy approaches Howard in the parking garage.
Yes.
Oh my god, he lit him up,
dude. It's from getting pummeled from Kim and Chuck. He just couldn't take it anymore, so he was on fucking point.
Yes.
With, I mean, he outsold Saul so hard. Anything he threw at him, fucking. I almost called him Harry.
Well, I love that Howard's like. I'm not going to do the voice, but Howard basically compares him to Golem and said he's so transparent and pathetic, and he offers to hand him some cash, and he's like, why don't you bring a tin cup next time? It would be more believable.
The fucking hardest, most awesome singers ever.
And then he basically is like, talking about how, well, I'd be worried that you would, come through, and he starts listing off like these sneaky things that Jimmy would normally do. He's like, but I know you're too goddamn greedy, so I don't have to worry about it.
Like, I'm actually surprised that Jimmy didn't take the cash that was offered to him.
Yeah.
Want to hand out here?
He uses it to buy the shoes for Irene. But I mean, that was just like so goddamn good. And honestly, at no point do I truly really dislike Howard as a character.
No, I only disliked him in the beginning before we realized that Chuck was pulling the strings.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only time I actually dislike Howard. Otherwise, he's just phenomenal at what he does and is constantly put in shitty situations out of his control.
Agreed. Basically. And I wonder if I went back and watched the first few episodes, if maybe his character arc has changed, or if just we didn't have enough information in the beginning.
I mean, like he panders and spoon feeds the audience. He was definitely vilified the first 2 or 3 episodes. So we were meant to hate him, but eventually, and once we found out what was happening,
gotcha.
Then,
Okay,
he's done nothing wrong.
Okay. So I think that's pretty much it for the Chuck stuff, right? Nothing else really comes of that.
No, I'm just glad there was such a kind of a Chuck heavy episode that I was so fucking. I loved every bit of
totally.
It.
I gotcha.
Every bit of it.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Okay, so let's throw over and do 2 truths and 1 big little lie, real
We're still
quick.
tied, right?
Huh? I feel like you may have gotten one up on me last week.
We were tied.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we just both didn't get it.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm glad to hear that because I really thought I was down one, but I'll take your word on it. Okay, 2 truths, 1 big little lie.
Let's play a game called
2 truths and 1 big
Little Lie.
All right, and welcome back.
I have not been doing that nearly as much since you started mocking me mercilessly.
No, I'm not mocking you, just paying tribute to you every time I get to introduce.
What was the word you were going to use instead of tribute?
Homage.
Okay, gotcha. Were you going to
I was
say...
gonna say homage.
Okay, yeah.
At first, but then I messed it up with homage in my head, so I went with an easier
It was actually
word.
a pretty quick recovery. I
Thanks.
could actually just see by the way that your eyes started
I love
to
how
the
you
side.
always know when I'm deer in the headlights. So like, fuck. But then I came out.
Well,
with
I
it.
mean, we've known each other for 25 years at this point.
Didn't you hear the Transylvania song? It was obviously 600 or 700. God damn it. All right, so you have no idea what my 2 truths or anything like that.
Nor do you,
Yeah,
Does that work?
not at all.
No, nor do you. No, okay, you're right.
Nor do you.
I wish that I hadn't even repeated it. Nor do you, I'm just like talking in shorthand all of a
I
sudden.
like it. Sound like one of those trash people from...
Oh, God, Jadis.
Yes. Ugh. Anyways, so I did mine on... all right, basically 2 of these side characters have been that we've seen in Better Call Saul were also little cameos or side features in Breaking Bad. One of them is not. Okay?
Do I know who they are yet?
No.
Oh. See, that's...
How the fuck would you know who they are?
Because what you were saying was such a weird, terrible
2
explanation,
of these...
vague, and...
2 of the game that we're about to play.
2 characters?
Yeah, the 2 options.
This will
are
make sense as I
characters.
go?
This will definitely make sense as I go.
Okay. Because right now I have no fucking clue.
I definitely clouded it, I guess.
As do you and I.
It's closer.
Actually, it was because I threw the and in.
All right. Person 1.
Oh, ugh.
All right. Chuck's nurse from after he was tased by the police. Okay, that's...
What do I do?
No, just keep her in mind. So basically, we've seen her in Better Call Saul. Was this also like an Easter egg person that's from Breaking Bad? It doesn't correlate to the story. It's
Oh,
just...
boy. Okay, just go ahead. Keep going. I got it now.
Person 2. The bar patron that Jimmy and Kim stiff with that big bar tab.
Okay.
Person 3. The cop who investigates Price's stolen baseball cards. 2 of them were in Breaking Bad. One of them was not.
Okay, so I know that the one guy that they steal the money from was also the guy that Walter White sees at the gas
At
station.
the gas station, they handicap
Okay, yeah, so-
what's it, Ken wins or something like that.
Yeah, I got that
Fucks
one.
up his car. Okay.
Now the other one I do not know offhand, so it is going to be a 100% guess, just to make sure I'm clear. The 2 people are the nurse who he sees at his house, who comes to his house.
It's the nurse that's in the ER. Jimmy comes in and he's trying to take all the electronics out. It's after Chuck's been tased and then has to get admitted to the hospital.
Okay, gotcha.
And she tells him to get out because he's pulling all this shit out
I see.
of it.
Okay, and she's the one who's friends with Marie in Breaking Bad.
Are you leading to find something here?
That's hoping I could trick you.
Nice.
Okay, and so
That-
the other ones you're saying are the cops from which episode
One
of
of the
Breaking Bad?
cops. God damn it! Just fucking pick one.
All right, I'm just gonna go with the cops.
The cops what? The cops is the fake one?
The cops are the fake one.
The cop is the fake one.
Oh, it was 50-50
Total guess.
shot.
The nurse that stopped Jimmy was also the same nurse that kicked, who was it? I think Jesse out of the thing when Brock got poisoned, the kid.
Oh, okay,
It's
wow.
the exact same nurse. So she said you have to leave because you're
Good
not
dig,
family.
man. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay, and honestly, we're at a point in the season where, oh my god, this is the episode that defines the whole thing.
What do you mean?
Because we, obviously what has to happen
Oh, we
is...
can't have... Oh, so
Yeah.
this is it. God, fuck, and
And
you
you
got
just
it.
lost.
Oh, son of a bitch. So I got to get this just to tie.
Double Jeopardy is what's going to happen if we tie, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what happens then.
That's not going to happen. I never get these fucking things. I blew my only shot at winning, and...
Remember how far up you were? You were like 10 ahead. I
was
fucking
at
smoked your
least
stupid
10
ass.
ahead, and now I've ended in fucking losing another goddamn
my God,
podcast.
flame out.
I'm not... More like
Okay, you ready?
flame-er.
Hey.
Orlando United Gay Day or whatever we're doing right now, right?
The 1 year anniversary of the Pulse attacks?
No, it's Orlando United Day or something like that.
Oh, is that actually an official thing?
Yeah, they made it a
For the
thing.
record, we live here in Orlando, so that is like a big deal to the community here. So I actually didn't know that was an official day. Okay, that's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, Orlando Unites.
Okay, cool. And we're not going to get up on our pedestal or anything like that, but we just have to say, like, that was a huge, momentous thing that happened here, and the way the community came together around it, and we very rarely get super serious, but that was pretty goddamn awesome, right?
I would put them on a pedestal.
They honestly, like, they deserve it. But, okay, so, I did Peter Gould.
Okay.
He is the other co-creator.
Fuck.
So,
okay.
it made sense that we would get to him at some
zero
point.
chance of me knowing anything.
My God, the amount of if you had looked for 10 seconds online, you would have seen all the information I could dig up in 30. So that's why I didn't want to tell you who mine was ahead of time, because honest to God, you would have been able to pull it up like that.
Well,
okay, so Peter Gould, 2 truths, 1 big little lie. You ready?
Sure. I guess. Can I just pick C? No, I don't want to pick C. That's not my choice. Go.
Are you sure?
Yes. I did that once before and fucked myself.
Yeah, you did. That is true. Okay. Truth 1. Peter Gould was a writer for the 1994 film Double Dragon, based on the video game. Truth 2. One of Peter's earliest memories is of spying on his first grade teacher's toes during reading circle. Truth 3. Peter's son Kyle portrayed Walt Jr.'s friend Lewis, which is his only IMDb credit.
I don't think the Double Dragon thing is real.
Are you sure that that's your final guess?
I hate when you do that. Yeah, that's my final stupid guess.
That's wrong!
God damn it.
You lose the whole fucking season!
After 1, the first time you go up is the only time that matters. God damn it.
I'm so excited. Let me do my best Howard example.
Oh, yeah.
It's more Kool-Aid, man.
So it was actually that Peter's son Kyle portrayed Walt Jr.'s friend Lewis, which is his only IMDb credit. Just 100% false. He has no kids.
Nice.
So I just basically picked a random character.
I wish I would have known this was the last fucking one. I would have made it slightly more challenging.
Oh man,
because I knew you would have had. I mean, I had a good feeling you'd know Ken.
Yeah, so I get to pick a punishment for you for next week, and it is going to be fucking juicy.
Can I wear women's underwear? I mean, do I have to wear women's underwear?
That was 2 truths and 1 big little lie.
And 1 big
Little lie.
It's feeling weird.
Okay, I'm just gonna let that be our comeback. For the record, that was Jables farting into the microphone.
No, that's the fish tank.
And then doing some weird fucking stuff. So that's where we're coming back in, and we're going to talk about Kim's plotline, and then Mike, Gus, and Nacho as well.
Do you think it heard me saying it feels weird?
Definitely. Oh, no. I don't know if it'll have picked up the fart, but definitely the it feels weird part.
Great.
Okay, so we get Mike at Madrigal where Lydia works, and it's essentially that he is being put on the books there so he can be paid legitimately to have money being paid into him. By the way, that's what you get for laying a goddamn stinky ass bomb right before we go back on air.
It's painful right now.
Yeah, and I have to sit in here and fucking smell. This is the worst moment of my goddamn life. There are literally like green stench marks wafting up from your ass crack right now. I hate it, and I really resent you for it.
It's all right.
And you deserve what's happening.
I think I might
here.
be sitting in a spicy.
The worst. I'm so sorry, listeners. We generally try to be a little classier than this, but he is just an absolute monster. You're a monster.
Okay, let's calm down.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm
you good? You ready to proceed?
Yes.
Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, so anyway, so he is going to be hired on. Originally, it's as a logistic consultant, but he says that a security consultant would make more sense.
So smart.
Yeah, honestly.
Everything he does is so fucking calculated and so on point. I mean, I love how they're basically doing a huge fucking favor for him.
He's asking all these probing
turns around
questions
as like a reverse interview situation.
And I love that at the end, it's sort of the scene is kind of punctuated with him asking, like, why do this for a drug dealer or something like that. And then she's like, if that's all you think he is, then you really don't know Gustavo Fring.
That's true.
A really fucking cool line.
Yeah.
And
even still, when he was signing it, he was fucking hesitant. So I feel like that may come around at some point, because the last scene was him signing it, but with a sigh of despair as he did it.
I mean, because it's really his first time putting his name on the
himself
books
out
of
there.
some sort of
Right.
definitely.
He's always so good at leaving no fingerprints. And now he's
being
literally
totally covert,
scanning his life away.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, social security got like the whole fucking nine. So
I mean, she had a pretty good answer for every question that came up, and it all seemed on the up and up.
And I mean, that's the thing though, is if you want to legitimize your money, there has to be a real you at some point on file somewhere, making that money from some sort of way.
Otherwise, there's no point in doing it at all.
That's exactly right. So anyway, let's and we'll leave Kim's for last. So I'm gonna stay with like the Mike, Hector, Nacho, Gus sort of thing. So we see Hector flicking a lighter up and down, and he's meeting with Gus. All the goons are there, and they're talking to, I think the guy's name is Bolsa, right? And he's like the go-between them and Don Eladio.
I didn't know Bolsa was there.
No. Bolsa's the guy on the phone.
Okay, yes. Okay,
because
exactly.
he's saying like the guy by the pool or something like that.
Yes.
So and basically the guy is saying that Don Eladio wants everything to go through the logistics network that Gus has set up.
Provides, right.
Essentially like making him the favorite son north of the border.
Exactly. You still have your toys, but he's the man.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's the one in charge when daddy is not here, sort of thing.
And he did not take kindly.
He breaks the goddamn phone, has an attack, takes the pills. Nothing happens right away, but he basically says like, fuck you, fuck Bolsa, fuck Don Eladio, and then storms off. So definitely setting up something explosive.
For maybe next week?
Yeah, and I mean, who knows? Who do you think that do you think Gus dies next episode?
I think so.
Or maybe Double Jeopardy, they both kill each other. I would love Double Jeopardy this episode.
A crazy wheelchair accident, perhaps?
Oh, wow.
That wasn't that insightful. I thought that's where you were going.
No, I don't know what the fuck's going on right now.
Jesus Christ.
I thought that you were going to do a shtick and then there was nothing there, and I just keep throwing it over to you, and it's just fucking...
I feel you were asking if he dies next episode because obviously he's in Breaking Bad. So he's not dying next episode. Don't look at me like that. This is your question. And then I said a wheelchair accident.
So the other scene that we have here within
God fucking damn it.
is Nacho telling his father, God damn it.
Papa.
Jefe.
Lo siento.
Basically, like, he's gone back working for Hector, and that Hector is now going to be coming into his shop and taking over, and he cannot resist him, or else it's not going to go well. No matter what he thinks of Nacho now, like, he has to listen to him on this. Nacho gets kicked out, and then we see scenes for next week. Hector definitely shows up there, and his dad's not there or something.
Where's Papa?
Yeah, but of course, we know from the scenes from next week on Better Call Saul.
They don't mean shit.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna pop in there and be like, "Where is your father?" And then literally his father
I'm
here. Sorry, they just wanted to do this for the promo for next week. Sorry, Hefe.
I'm pretty sure that his dad's gonna die.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
What? Who invited Herman? What the fuck is I gonna say?
Herman Howard.
Howard back?
Oh yeah,
he's coming.
Very bassy, very bassy. It did sound like him. You're right. So let's talk about Kim stuff, right?
Herman.
Herman and McGill. Okay, so Kim, it starts off with her at the oil field, and she has this great solution to this oil magnate's problem, which is essentially that he's drilling on his side of the state line, but it's pulling from a oil pool or something like that underneath the ground, yada yada yada, which is creating sort of like
and comes up with a pretty fucking ingenious instant solution to
exactly.
that problem.
So she's got that. He pulls off, and she almost gets her car fucking slammed into the thing, like the oil derrick or whatever that's called.
This part here was a little bit more of the Vince Gilligan, spoon feeding, because I even wrote one of my only things was how Kim is definitely becoming overwhelmed. Even before her car got stuck in the sand, you could just see in her mannerisms that she is just
frazzled,
pushing herself to the fucking limit.
True,
right
very
now.
true.
So, and then of course for the common denominator. He had to have her car get stuck in the sand and then have to go do that. Almost crashes into the oil derrick.
That's what I called it, but I really don't know. I just know that that's a thing.
The big
in
oil rig thing,
Yeah.
yes. So just, more and more showing, okay, she's about to fucking lose it. She's about to fucking snap. Too much, which of course leads into the final scene.
Is there any other scene with her other than her preparing her documents and then Jimmy coming in because he's all excited that they're going to settle?
No, it's just anytime that she was featured, it was all just showing the straws piling up on the camel's back.
Yeah, nice.
Thanks.
Wow, good job. I really thought that you'd fucked up your metaphor for a second.
I
but no.
usually do, so.
I just assumed they were.
Right.
Nice job, though. Nice job. So yeah, what did you think about the crash scene?
Oh, fuck.
Kind of shocking the way that they did it, right?
I mean, it was definitely shocking. I could tell when it was just focusing on her.
Long shot,
that she was going to be falling asleep at the wheel, but even knowing that was going to happen.
I love that they didn't oversell it with like the heavy nodding off sort of thing that they normally do.
It was literally a blink of the eye and boom, and it already happened. And they didn't even have like this horrific crashing.
Exactly.
It was just boom.
Yeah,
it was
now
just
she's
like we
waking
were
up out of
her.
it.
We see her just driving.
And that's what I liked about it. It felt like authentic to a car crash.
Yes.
Because the way that it happens, it's so instantaneous.
One thing, it's just normal, and all of a sudden everything's fucking different.
It was cool, basically watching it from her perspective like that.
Because it was like a still shot of her profile, and then without moving or anything, just the airbags deployed, blood's on her face, and it was.
She gets out the papers fucking scattered everywhere, and
it looks like
around.
She, averted fucking real crisis because she was on like a quarry.
Oh yeah, for sure. If she hadn't hit that giant rock that was in front of there, gone down into the hill. What did you call it?
Quarry.
I don't think that. Is that what was next? Was there a quarry next to her, like a rock quarry?
It looked like it.
Or was it just like a...
Probably just rocks.
Okay.
Probably just slanted rocks.
Slanted rock. That's just a minor hill.
I think I called it a query when I first said it. But at least I got the horse and straws. No? Camel.
Oh.
I did that one on purpose.
Okay, you know what? It's after midnight. Let's go ahead and...
It's after midnight. You asked me to start spicing it up with some songs throughout, remember?
No.
Oh. That's right. I was pepping myself for the podcast.
Prepping or pepping?
Both.
Okay. It's after midnight. Things are getting a little silly around here. Somebody's farting into the goddamn microphone. We're going to shut this shit down. So anyway, tremendous episode. We both obviously loved it. We'd love to hear from you guys. So let us know what you thought about the episode, or whether or not Howard's voice is a bassy treble or a trebly bass. But yeah, we do love hearing from you guys. So write in on any medium. And actually, we've been hearing a lot from you guys for this show and other shows, either via YouTube, email a little bit this week too. Fargo got a crazy response this week. There's a fucking nutso episode. But anyway, we do love hearing from you guys. We do have the Patreon page.
And we definitely need the Patreon page, not only for the bars for our blanket forts, but Daddy needs new underwear.
Oh my God. No, I'm so sorry. All right, just I don't tie a bow on this bitch.
We'll see you next time, little buddies.